I'm Alan Salabank, and I'm a re-recording and ADR mixer, having worked for nearly 3 decades on productions such as Finding Dory, The Jungle Book, and Doctor Strange. I'm here today to show you how you can use SynchroArt's Revoice Pro 4 to get your ADR bang on in sync and totally believable. What I have here is a short documentary shot in central London beside the Thames, with all the issues that can arise from shooting in a busy city. Here's an example.
After being commissioned by Drake in 1575. Two years later, Drake was to set sail on a voyage that was to take 3 years.
As you can hear, the location sound is borderline unusable, so we're going to replace it. Before you start, there's a few things to set up. First, make sure that the standalone Revoice Pro 4 software is open on your system. Then, set up the Revoice Pro monitor plugin on an aux input. This will allow you to hear the output of Revoice Pro 4 through your DAW. I've been given 2 sets of ADR, one recorded to picture and one recorded wild, parrot fashion, with the artist simply repeating the words after being played the original. The first thing to do is to open the Revoice Pro APT plugin and then to capture the original dialogue. Then we can capture the dub track. Because I've got so many takes of each line, I'm going to use the audition feature of Revoice Pro 4 to help me decide which ADR takes are going to work best before I commit them. Simply solo the process track in Revoice Pro and ensure that you enable the option to output the audio to the Revoice Pro monitor plugin. I can now audition the various takes simply by selecting and capturing them, then playing back with Revoice Pro locked to my Pro Tools system. So here's take 1.
1577 after being commissioned by Drake in 1575.
At any point, I can go to the Revoice Pro standalone program and press P to bring up the settings. I can then easily tweak the performance, including the rigidity of the timing and whether the pitch exactly follows the original. Sometimes the director is looking to change the performance, so you can disable the pitch match to enable that. In the pitch section, it's also important to note that you can change the lowest frequency that Revoice Pro 4 uses to match the pitch to and the highest frequency, so you can actually put a band pass on the input to the process. So here's an example of our new ADR being fitted. Again, simply select the guide track and then capture the dub track. And let's have a listen to how this one sounds.
The Hind remained in Deptford for a further 70 years, and ironically, although it had survived a 3-year voyage around the world, it disintegrated due to wind and rain and was broken up. It's suspected that it's located at Convoy's Wharf, further down the Thames in Deptford.
Revoice Pro is not only good for ADR, you can fit location alternate takes as well. Take this line, for example.
2 years later, Drake was to set sail on a voyage that was to take 3 years.
Now, I've dug out an alternative take from the rushes, which is here. I'll capture the guide and capture the dub. And let's open up our monitor and have a listen to how that now sounds.
2 years later, Drake was to set sail on a voyage that was to take 3 years.
And that fits in perfectly. And finally, let's use Revoice Pro 4 to do exactly what its name suggests, revoice a character. In this case, let's give our presenter a sex change. I quickly re-recorded the dialogue using my own voice, and I'm now going to quickly fit it using Revoice Pro 4. See what you think. Now let's have a listen to how that sounds. 2 years later, Drake was to set sail on a voyage that was to take 3 years. In 1581, Drake was knighted on board the Golden Hind by the French ambassador in the presence of Queen Elizabeth I. So as you can see, on the whole, Revoice Pro 4 has done an excellent job in revoicing this character, and it is very fast and simple to do so.